Good. Oh dear, I'm going to start coughing already before I start. Good morning, everybody. As you can tell, I have a hoarse voice today, so it's going to be just a little bit rumbly because yesterday I was out. Not that I'll come back sort of wrecked or anything, but just a bit grumbly. Ah dear, I think it's going to be one of those coffee days today. Anyway, let's have a look. I'm just having a look around. What we got down here? Let's go down. I'm just having a look around the map. As you can see, we've moved on somewhat. Started over here at Cyprus. From Cyprus went to Incirlik. Been working our way down this map over the past few weeks, and during the week some of the other guys go on, and currently we've got this area and these places down here. Muffafak Salty. Oh yeah, I remember that. So I'm just wondering what to jump in necessarily. There seems to be a reasonable amount of cover here. We've got a few bases over here, haven't we? What's this distance? I know what I might do. Just go and drop a fob. How far is that? That's 53 mile. Morning, pup. If I come in here, I could possibly drop something off over here, perhaps. Maybe I should drop a fob quite close. Or is it even worth trying to get into the mountains? We could drop one off over here, but then is that going to be close enough? We can't capture the other fobs, can we? The big H's. We'll have to drop a fob, I think. Or I'm going to go and drop a fob anyway. So we're a little bit closer to Rosh Pina. That might be an idea. So I'm going to go down to there. We'll jump in. I'll jump in at Damascus. Welcome, by the way, if anybody's jumped on yet. I don't think there's many on, but hello. And what we'll do is jump and see what we can find. Just bear with me 1 minute.
What were you taking at the moment, Stuart?
Right, okay. Just press that button. So just bear with me.
Okay, yeah.
Just hit the wrong button. I hate this thing when I can't see what's going on. There we go. Right. So as I said, I'll jump in. What I'll do is jump into the Chinook again because it seems to be the ideal one, and I'll try and drop a fob down quite close, and we'll see how we get on. So we're going to join the Blue Coalition, and I'm going to go from, say, Damascus. Let's go dynamic slots. Choose Damascus. Choose the CH. The what was I going to say? The 130 was released the other day, if you weren't aware. Big old A big old plane. Why is this so wobbly? It's just the way the sun is. In fact, I've got no land yet, have I? Look. There we go. That's why it was all shimmery. It hadn't got there yet. So, as usual, and as last week, I'll go through the startup and then I'll load a fob and then take it down so that when we're going down in helicopters, we can come back and just rearm, refuel really close to that target area we're going to at the moment. Well, that's my plan. I don't know whether it's anyone else's. So let's have a little look. We're going to go through the startup. Anyone remember from last week? So we put the batteries on. And we're going to put it onto run for 5 and then start for 2. Now push it for start for 2 and hope I've got it the right way round. Sounds like it. See the APU light up in a second. And then we're going to press the APU on. Now look up to the top. Switch on the cross feed. Put the aft fuel flow for the left engine and the forward fuel flow for the left engine. I'm going to rotate this lever down to ground. And we're going to press and hold the engine start for the first engine or the left engine until we see NG equals 12 there on the top right. Equals 12. Now we'll let go and should see the rotor start to turn, the engine start up. This is in early access, by the way, so there's not a lot to do really. There's no hood, which is always a little bit interesting. If you're like me and I'll fart and wear glasses, you can't necessarily read the text on the screen. As in, I have to zoom in, but by the time you zoom in, you've got to be careful because of the way this thing flies. It has a really interesting knack of VRSing from about 3 feet up. Okay, once this settles, it's about 63, I think it is. Yep. Then we'll start the right-hand engine. So process is similar. So we put the aft fuel flow for the right-hand engine, forward fuel flow. Rotate the lever down to ground. We're going to hold the start button for the right engine until it reaches 12 there. We can see the numbers going. There's 12 and we just wait. So you can hear the second engine starting up. You right, cock? It's alright, she's playing games today. She's not at work. Still have to finish early because we're off out again today. It's that time of year. Okay, so when they're both on 63 and settled, we're then going to roll them both down. You'll hear the RPM go up and the rotors increase. Okay. This gets a bit too loud for me here. I have to turn it down a little bit. Right, so once that's done, we're going to put on the Jennies, generator 1, generator 2. We now no longer need the APU, that can go off, and the APU start can go off. The backup power can go on. The refuel cross feed can go off. And then that leaves us, according to these messages, the EGGY. The EGGY's down here by the left knee on this small screen. So we hit power. We hit EGGY for EGGY 1 twice. Oh, it was on already. Why is it on? That's interesting. That's usually off. Have you noticed that, Stu, On the Chinook, the eggies are on now when you start up. Don't know where he's gone. I just went to switch it on and switch it off and back on again. Oh well, if that's on, that's on. We'll switch this on.
8 o'clock. Searching. Fixed wing. 6 o'clock.
Okay, so RWR.
8 o'clock. Searching.
We're also going to, if you want the handling to be a lot smoother, we're going to leave the cyclic trim as set in auto, and we're going to put system select both, and it will make life a lot easier. And then we go down to arm and bypass to allow me to do the flares. Okay, now I always forget the button for the flares, so I am just going to check first. Is it that one? No, let's click in the box first, otherwise it won't respond. And why am I not getting anything at all? Oh, that's not good, is it? Look at that. No controls. Nice. Why am I not seeing anything? Those are working. Hey Barbie. Good morning, how are you? Hey, morning. So, what's going on? For some reason, oh, don't say they've changed a load of controls again. There we go. So what's that? A cyclic grip CD release button. Oh dear, I think something's changed, hasn't it? Something has definitely changed. Yeah, something's changed with the settings by the feel of it. Yeah, there is a lot of stuff changed. Oh well, never mind. Let's make sure. Let's go through a few settings. Joystick. Okay, that works. This works. Does it? Yes. Okay, head tracking's fine. They really have changed things. Let's have a look. So now I've got to find out where the back door is and where the flares are. Are they going to be called flares or countermeasures? Not countermeasures. Dispensing flares, up, down, chaff. Let's have a look. I'm trying to think. Okay, that's not where I want to be actually. Let's go over here. Use the usual thing. That way it'll be easy to remember. Don't need any of those. Back door. I wonder what the back door's down as. Oh. Cargo, codman, external cargo, hoist cable. I'll try the word open, shall I? Can't see any doors on there. Ramp. Might be the word ramp. Open, close, open, close. Open. Hydraulic ramp emergency try. Is that what it is? Seems to be rather a lot there. A ramp. Cabin and a ramp. Is that the actual? No, that I'm not sure whether this is it or not. Hydraulics ramp emergency control switch cover. We don't need an emergency switch. What the hell's the back door called? Trap door. Door. Anyone got any clues? Otherwise I'm not going to be able to put in my thingamajig. I think I will turn this down just a little bit. It's a little bit loud for me. Anyone got any idea what the back door on the Chinook is called? Because all the controls have changed somewhat. It is called ramp. Yeah, I can see ramp, but it's all about ramp emergency control switch. Command to raise ramp. Ah, right, okay. There. Yeah, engineer to raise ramp next stage. Right, engineer to raise ramp, lower ramp. Okay, I see. So there was hydraulics ramp. There we go. No. There was a switch before where you could just get it to go. Maybe we'll have to do it. Ramp fully unloading, ramp fully. Okay, they've just reworded it by the looks of it. So, fully unloading. I'm guessing that one will work. And I'm guessing that one will work. Right, okay, let's have a look. So, my guess should be down. Is that it? No, it's going just slowly. Right, yeah, that was it. Right, okay. That's a start. Okay, CTLD, manage crates, get crates, support, not support, get and load. There we go. And I should be able to load supplies, although, yeah, I better take some. I always get told off for not taking any. Right, now that should go back. Hey, hello Jax. How are you, mate? How's things going? Right, okay, so we're up. All of that was there. Trim button I haven't set, have I? So this will be interesting. I got into it and was doing the actual training for the startup, but then I had to stop. All good, apart from a bit hoarse. I was out yesterday. We were both out. But all good, other than that. And Lisa's gaming in the other room, in her computer room. Just controls, trim. Yeah, I got so far, but run out of time because I didn't update the server or download till quite late. So I sat there, but it was going on and on and on, and I was going through. So I never got to start it, but I got some of the way. The only thing I noticed was, I don't know whether it is me or what, but the mission... Elise, Jack says hi. Yeah, it's faint in the background, Jack's. Might not hear her. The one thing I did notice, though, was the training scenario was dark. And because mine is turned down a little bit to make everything look better, I found it a little bit dark to see the actual names on the switches, and the text on the switches and things didn't look great. Wasn't as clear as the stuff normally. But I went through it, and then I'll have to make some notes. I'll go through it again, no doubt, when I get a chance, and then make some notes. I don't know why it's got this search prompt, and it's not like in the background like you'd get on a database. It's terrible, isn't it? Do you find that you can't get the look that you want with the Gamma? Because the Gamma itself does quite a damn good job, to be honest. Without needing reshade. Excuse me. It's going to be one of those days. Right, let's have a look. Trim. Trim hat. Okay. Put this back on. Right, there's a trimmer reset, isn't there? Let me do a trimmer reset. Not that I might need it, I don't know, we'll see. Right, hopefully that's enough. You do? Yeah, it works, but each time they're updating and updating, I found mine was beginning to struggle. I could stream 4K with it, but if I use Syria as well, it would just kill the machine, and that's why I updated mostly. Right, so we're going down here. I want to go about 48, but I'll probably have to use the map because, as I said, I can't read that. Let's change this to where I want it. Yeah, it's ridiculous, isn't it? Right, so we'll put the map on and the overlay. I don't know which waypoint it is, but I'm just going to go and head.
Spatey said, morning all.
Morning, Spatey. How's it going? 242. Right, so where are we at the moment? 43. 242 is going to be more or less off to my right. Let's see if this handles any different to what it did before. Doesn't seem to be. I don't know whether they changed any of the handling. Changed all the switches, obviously. But
9 o'clock. Searching.
bit more left. Put a few little, oh yeah, there's the mountain range, and we're left of the mountain range, so I'm guessing it's going to be down that way, isn't it?
Gun. 1 o'clock. Searching.
There's only a few bases left on this now, Spatey. Avoid the runway. Down a bit more. And I'll make corrections as I go. 241, 243, that's good enough. Let's see how it goes. That's if I get there. This is usually my nice relaxing bit.
Patriot. 2 o'clock. Searching.
To be honest, right, this...
Katie said, yeah, it's been busy during the week.
Yeah, it looks like it. To be honest, Jax,
4 o'clock. Searching.
when that first came out, it's just like one of these features that nobody needs, really. And putting fake frames in, I mean, when you start looking at the trees, when it first came out and you could do it in DCS, it just was a mess. I know it's getting better and better, but the only cards that can do it better and better seem to be the newer cards. And if you can get decent frames out, so everyone gets so obsessed with frames. I can run this, usually it's about 120, but I cap it to 60 because when I'm streaming, I stream at 60. And there's no point generating more frames than I need, just for the sake of it, do you know what I mean? I don't get much of a problem, obviously there's no tearing, it looks absolutely fine, but running it faster than I do already is absolutely no need, really. Everything's fairly smooth, there's no stuttering, no micro stutters. Yeah, exactly. You know, I can understand it maybe if it's used in VR in some way, if it is, but there's nothing like watching it on a decent screen where it looks absolutely amazing. And I'm streaming to YouTube as well, in 4K at 60 FPS as I go, and it looks as good as it looks on my screen. But it's like they've invented something. I don't know whether it was Nvidia that invented it, but it's like they've invented something that I don't think anybody necessarily asked for, do you know what I mean? Just seems like another selling pitch, and it allows them to say things like, buy a 5060 or whatever it is, and it'll run as good as this, that. Well, no it won't. Doesn't look anywhere near. It's good-ish. Much of this trimming. It was just ridiculous, isn't it? I mean, I'm running on a 3090 Ti. Do you know what I mean? It's like, it's absolutely fine at this point in time. It might change later. And the only reason I didn't go 4090 was because of all the problems with it. Another very not well thought out sort of thing. Where am I going? A little bit to the right. Morning, Yam. And anyone who's got a 5090, I mean, it just rattles through anything at the moment. Hey Yam, do you use the false frames and the, is it DLSS for your VR or not? Or does it just work as it is? I wonder how far this is down. Oh no, those mountains are there. So that caught me out. They've changed a few things. What have they done to anything else? Has anyone actually read the patch notes?
6 o'clock. Searching.
Okay, fair enough. And do you notice, does it work better in VR than it would on your screen? If you see what I mean.
Sam. 6 o'clock. Searching.
Oh dear me, stutty as well.
Fixed wing. 6 o'clock. Searching. Fixed wing.
So we've nearly finished this mission. There's not too many places to go. I suspect it'll be done by sometime during the week. And I've started to put a very basic World War II thing in. So it might be next weekend, maybe. We can sort of get started on the World War II stuff. Trying to remember how to fly World War II planes. And then all the PvP World War II combat. Yeah. You can't tell on it now. But you're running a 5090, aren't you? Is it a 5090 you're running or the AMD one? I can't remember. Right, so if you're running the 5090, right, the conversation was along the lines, I was saying that the cards that run that method really well have to be the newer cards. And if you've got one of those cards, you don't need to do that if you're running it on your screen. Do you know what I mean? For VR, but that makes some sense as long as the quality's there. But you need a really good card to do it in the best possible way, don't you? It's not like you can use something really old, update it, and then suddenly it's going to perform magic. If you see what I mean. I've always thought it was... Oh, where am I going now? Loose. And could the kettle be switched on? That was a very polite way. Is that yours or mine? That's because I haven't got anything coming.
Said, didn't realise lossless scaling worked with VR.
Yeah, there you go. That might help you out a bit if you ask Yam.
If you are using a screen, you are meant doubling up the reason because the current access to the data is 4,312 by 5,104
I'm a little bit out here, but we'll see. I really like this. Once it's finished, it'll be even better. See if I can sneak over these mountains. So I'm trying to just carry a fob over so that people who go over in helicopters. Spatey, you've been in Star Citizen recently. You've been having problems with Area 18 at all when you spawn there?
Hello everybody, by the way.
Hang on, they're talking. Say again, Lisa.
Good morning everybody.
Good morning, Auntie Lisa. I've got a very polite AI.
Yeah.
That...
Jackson said,
Jax, hey.
Lisa, my stream, your kitchen.
Excuse me, but I am saying hello to people that I know. Thank you very much.
Right, no one else knows Lisa, do you?
Hello, Pedro.
Ah, right, yeah, it's weird. I went down there the other day, spawned there, come out the room, and then just dropped outside to the floor because the rest of the building wasn't there. But there's a couple of things I got to do. Hello, Mr. Camel. Oh, she missed that. She was on the way. And you start butting in with your troublemaking. You're right, Camel. How are you this week? How many hours you done this week?
Katie said, only been to Area 18 once and it was fine. Biggest issue I have is missions and unable to plan routes.
Ah, right, okay. It'll be better once the fruit flies off, as usual. But then, this is what they always do. It's like it was running really, really well before the event. Now they're dumping loads of stuff on it. We've got to go through that rigmarole until they get a nice stable. There's no ding anymore. This is quite far, isn't it? You can see why I want to do this. Yeah, it's a bit much there, Camel. 70 hours is what, 16 hours again, is it, a day? I suppose you just have to do it while you can, don't you, at the end of the day? Yeah. 14 a day, that was it. Otherwise, that would have added 30 on 1260. That's terrible. Is that on the vehicles? Or is that on a Perseus or something?
Katie said, should have updated and you'd already be there in the C130 at mil 12345.
No, I'd still be going through the startup process. Ah, right, okay. Yeah, I did, I updated everything anyway. Cheers, cock. I updated anything anyway, but I think it was quite, when was it? Thursday, and I'd got to get up really early Friday. So I started going through the tutorial on the 130, but found it was dark. The tutorial... Who was that who just come in? Sorry. Who just... Oh, it's you. You're right, matey. Sorry. You remembered where the buttons were? I can't quite hear you very well at the moment. This bloody thing's noisy as hell. Just 1 minute, let me do my end, because I can turn this down a bit, because I'll get the audio of the game coming through my speakers, do you know what I mean? And we're going to do this. I need 3 hands. Oh, wait a minute, I found a way of holding the joystick. Oh, it's cold, man. And no, it's just with my knees, before anyone asks. Alright. There we go. Okay, I can hear you now, I think. Sorry, how are you anyway? Apart from tired. Yeah, you sound rather exhausted unless it's really late where you are. Are you on Friday or Saturday? Saturday, 11 o'clock at night. Oh, right, so you've had today off so far, yeah? Going down there again? I don't know why it wants to go down there. So what I was suggesting is that this will probably be finished during the week. So I'll pull the World War II planes out, just so everyone can remember how to fly them. And then I'll put up the PvP thing maybe in another week. However, I've only got 2 days Christmas anyway myself, and Lisa's working through Christmas, so it's not like I've got the usual, well, I used to have 3 weeks off at Christmas, and then other times I've had 2 weeks off, and now I've got 2 days, so it's not great. We used to do the World War II stuff from about 6 o'clock on the evenings. I don't even get home till 7. Yeah, it's a pain in the ass. Thanks for the tea, cock. Yeah, I'd already pre-ordered ages ago, and actually jumped in it the other day, but I was commenting earlier about the fact that the training scenario is very dark, and the text on the labels isn't great, and it was really difficult to see. And then I ran out of time before I actually started the engines, but went through a lot of the preamble. Need to do it again. The way the missions are currently written, I would say no. But coming back to my old IL2 days, I used to like some of the really big planes, B-17, stuff like that, where you can get multiplayer. So I used to write missions with B-17s, which was mods, and we'd have sort of 4 or 5 of us in there, escorted by some Spitfires and things. It was just great fun. So it's, you know, shades of that. Obviously it's all a lot more modern, and if you can refuel with the C-130s eventually, and if you start getting some more of the options, it could be quite good. But for now, it's a nice to have on them. But I'd still like a B-17 with gunners and things like that. Oh no, I'm alright, I'm heading in that direction. I think there's a few got it. I bet Spatey's got it. Stu's got it, I know. Not sure who else has got it, whether Pup's got it or not. I thought so. So there would be a fleet of them. Finishing a bit earlier today again. Started a bit early. I'm off at 8 again this afternoon. Can't see the person cancelling. We were supposed to be out last week.
Jackson said, still need to buy the calendar. When is the next sale coming up?
There's a sale at the moment, Jack's, I believe. I haven't got the cola map, but it would make sense for you. I know Pup's got it in the morning.
Oh, need to unlock.
Yeah, I think the sale finishes on the 1st, but I might get mixed up with Star Citizen. I'm never sure. the two seem to merge a little bit, to be honest. But hey ho. Yeah, all good. Thanks, Rick. You okay? Yeah, it's like us. We were out yesterday and then out again a bit later, so don't think we got much else planned then over Christmas. I will be streaming Christmas, by the way, on account of being at home by myself on Christmas Day, Boxing Day. Oops. This is going to be one of those get there and then just drop it. I hope I don't, but hey, it happens. Disco Dave is waiting. I haven't done a Disco Dave for a long time. That's the co-pilot, by the way. So when you lose a little bit of this and it goes very jiggity, is that the right word that I just made up? He pulls his decks out and starts doing a bit of DJ work. It's quite funny, actually. You'll see what I mean at some point, no doubt. You coming in today, Camel, or are you just gonna rest? I'd never heard of coal and I couldn't see the point, but then it's all Sweden-y, Denmark-y, sort of that area, isn't it, up your neck of the woods, Jats? Which makes sense, I suppose. Hey Stinger, you alright, matey? Stinging? Oh, you're not in at the moment, are you? Alright, I can't tell. I was going to say, Sting, I've been asking everybody else isn't having the problems at Area 18 that we have, so I guess really it's time to delete your user account, but make sure you export your controls in Star Citizen before you delete it. I think you've already got them anyway, but might have to, delete the user folder. I did do the thingamajigs before, the shaders, but that's one of the things I wanted to try was delete them both and then see if it makes a difference. But I suppose we can try that tomorrow. But make sure you export your controls and move them out of the folder before you do that, otherwise you're going to lose them. Yeah. Well, it's like people ask me if I'd got the Kohler map. I didn't know what it was about, and I don't know what went on there. Do you know what I mean? It's like some of the other maps, like Cold War Germany. Cold War Germany doesn't mean a lot to me, to be honest. And there's an element of getting maps for the sake of it, a bit like we do with planes, to be honest. But it'll have a lot more meaning to some people, but we don't exactly fly much in the way of scenarios. I think the closest scenarios we ever get to is World War II stuff. And if you've never done it, right, this is to anybody viewing, if you've never tried them, even if you think you might not like them, just do it. Because once you start flying, you start to appreciate how it must have been, how difficult it can be, how dangerous it must have been, how limited flight you've got, and it's all about saving your aircraft, not just flying till you're dead sort of thing. and it's actually great fun. The skill all comes from you rather than systems and all the rest of it. This is where you start to realise that BVR bombs and things, where you just program them and send them, you start to think, well, what's the point of that? You can't see the whites of the eyes of the people you're blowing up. No, well, the things you're blowing up, if that makes sense. Whereas when you're in the World War II fighters, right, it's down to you, and it's your skill or their skill as to who wins. And you never hang on to your guns because they don't last that long. You can't overdo your engine because you completely screw it up. And you can't get too greedy either because you just won't last. But it is good fun. Right, once we get around this hill, we should start to see these bases. Still a few mile out, but it might help. It is a bit of a long flight, especially if you've got to keep coming backwards and forwards to rearm, refuel.
Fixed wing, 7 o'clock, searching, radar, 1 o'clock, searching, SA-15, 1 o'clock, searching, radar, 1 o'clock, searching, SA-8, 1 o'clock, searching, 2
I might get shut down, I don't know.
searching.
Looks like it's down in a dip, doesn't it? It might drop off just a little bit earlier than those airfields, which is where I was originally heading for. Thinking of trying to get some protection, so I can slow down. Ooh, slowing down a little bit much. I caught a button here or something.
12 o'clock, searching.
Not sure why I went so high up so quick now.
2 at 6, 3 o'clock, searching.
Well, I'm thinking it's just giving us a little bit of protection so that we're not going to be taking off right into the hills. Morning, Stingo.
Searching. 2 at 6, 9 o'clock, searching.
So where we are.
Thank you for the follow Whiskey Hotel _Corey 799.
At 10 miles, that's probably round about right, I think.
Thank you for the follow.
Thank you for the follow there. We've got some sort of cover. If I go too far over here, it might be a little bit too close. 10 miles is nothing really. So if I open the back doors, should see the back doors opening shortly. You can see where I was going from that point of view. Look, I don't know. I haven't tried it, to be honest. I didn't read what the updates were. The whole trimming thing doesn't seem to be quite right, but I know it's that early access that I'm not too worried. If you, I'll have a look in a minute and see where the altitude hold is, and then we'll go from there, and I'll give it a whirl, assuming that I'm still alive. See how it goes on. Right, so manage crates. Build. So there should be a FARP, I hope, up here. Oh. Yeah, it can build, yeah. Oh, I better move. If I don't move, I'm going to end up being part of a fob if I'm not careful. Oh man, it's a very
Radar, 12 o'clock, searching. SA-15, 12 o'clock, searching. SA-8.
Where's the altitude hold? Let's have a little look. Where is the FARP?
2S6, 12 o'clock, searching.
Oh,
Radar, 12 o'clock, searching.
Let's just move over here a little bit. I didn't want to be part of the building. Right, I've popped a FARP up 10 mile out from the target, by the way. Oh, I've lost it. No? Oh, that was a surprise. That felt like I'd lost it. And normally, now I think they might have changed a bit here. Normally that would have just VRS'd, but it didn't. So I wonder if they've changed the thing that I was talking about earlier. Anyhow, whiskey. Sorry, where's the altitude hold? Let's go and have a look, because when I came in, a lot of my controls weren't set up, and I haven't used altitude hold on it usually. I just fly it. Let's have a look and see if we can find it. That was. Keep turn Earth camera, isn't it? Dim knob thrust group. Where am I looking for the altitude hold? Do you know? And then I can try it out. We got. Unless there's a. There's a mic trim cyclic. I expect it to be around here. Yeah, where's the altitude hold, or have you gone already? Can't see it. It's not part of that trim there. It's probably called something really weird, but I'll put the word holding. Not spelled like that. I can't see my keyboard. That is one of my problems at the moment. I think that's an out. Yeah, I can't see an altitude hold. Right, so hopefully what this means here is we've got a fob, as you can see. So it means we can come down, attack this, and get back to this. That's unless they've basically killed it all, which I think they are already with planes, probably. Not really sure, but at least it gives us a short base of operations, I guess. I've also got some supplies, so I should be able to add some supplies to this. Not that it needs it, but I can do. And make sure I'm in the circle, which I am. What am I doing? Not bad at all, am I? I need to drink my cup of tea before it goes cold as well. So it was up early in that. Pardon? Dash. Oh. DAFCS. Switch up. Okay. Let's go and have a look for that in 2 ticks. What was I doing? Not managed troops. Previous menu. Logistics. Unlock supplies. Okay. So where's the DAFS? Is it switch? Let's go and look it up. Just control. Do a search. It is that you're right, isn't it? DAFS FCS. So you put DAF. Oh man, don't you like the way that what it's called? You can't actually. Oh, I can't type and it's search for DAFS. Let's keep going down and see what we can see here. Hey Tarful. See what I mean? Where the hell is the DFS switch? Might be just in the cockpit. Where is it? That's the thing. You'd think it would be something on here. Hello, Solo. I have no idea where the switch is, and obviously when I search for it, it's going to be on a stick or it's going to be... tomorrow, matey. It's on the collective. I thought it might be. This one here, look, AFCS. It'll be one of these, I'll take it. So it's probably gonna be, I wonder if it's got AFCS on here. This is mail service is my server, basically. It should be on 24 hours. We're coming up towards the, not too far off the end of the mission. Is it AFC? Yeah, there we go.
Fixed wing, 5 o'clock, searching.
So which bloody switch is it? Tomorrow. I work. I don't get home till late usually, and I don't get much time. But Sunday tomorrow will be on. If you want to come in and fly with us, can you come into TeamSpeak? If you type !TS3, it'll tell you the address for TeamSpeak, and we'll give it you in there. I used to just give it out, but for some reason one week some guy coming in just decided to kill us or kill me. It was like, oh great, it's the first time in years, and I mean it's never happened before, so apparently there's some idiots around. It's really difficult, isn't it? So I don't know which one of these. And if you can set yourself on a push to talk as well. I need to drink this cup of tea before it goes cold. Oh right. Trim hat up. I've already got that set there, haven't I? That one. So that is an altitude hold. I must misunderstand how this is working. Let me have a look. I've already got that set. Let me just finish this cup of tea and I'll give it a whirl. The trouble is I can't read any of the text without really zooming in, and then obviously... Okay. Let's pause that. You don't want to see me drinking a cup of tea, dear. Let me finish this. It's bad enough having it in surround sound, but watching my head going up and down while I'm drinking it. Right. Let's reset a new trim. And we'll see how we get on. It might be. I'll wait till I start doing it all properly. No, the reason why it clanked is I've got this really weird placemat. It sounds like a saucer, and it's rare for me to drink out of a cup, to be fair. It's usually a mug.
Radar, 10 o'clock, searching. SA-15, 10 o'clock, searching. Radar, 10 o'clock, searching. SA-8, 9 o'clock, searching.
There you go.
6, 9 o'clock.
I think that's just suddenly come on here, look, see? So that might rise because it depends, I guess. I've got to be careful because I'm just going to go over there, aren't I now? I'm not going to fly this all the way back because that'll be really bad. I might go and jump in an 18. Have I got time for an 18? What time is it now? 10:32. Should be able to. Okay, it looks like that's working, doesn't it? I've got no hands on the cyclic at all.
6 o'clock, searching. SA-8, 6 o'clock, searching.
No, is that...
6 o'clock, searching.
The Logitech, which one did you have? I think that's working. I'm not doing anything here. I'm just not letting it do its thing. But it depends if it's a radar out of me. 52. X52 or X52 Pro. So let's move this around a little bit. Push it a step forward. Seems to want to stay where it is. Yeah, I think so. I think you might have to play with it. It's not worth the money to do what? The thing is, you can. Is there a reset? Oh, was it the X52 you were talking about? Or is it the X56? X56 will be a couple of hundred odd quid. 52 Pro, or yeah, the old Cytec one. The original Cytec ones. The problem with them was the loom was too tight inside and it caused all sorts of problems. Let's go back over there. And I'll go and get something else, but I might go into an 18. Tell you what does feel a little bit different, unless it's just me. It's not doing the usual last minute VRS that it usually does. or doesn't feel as though it is. Feels a little bit more controllable coming down. Anything better than the Warthog entry level? What do you mean? I don't quite understand the question there.
Searching.
You mean something to start with other than the Warthog?
2S6.
I'm not sure what the question is exactly, Solo. Slow down.
Fixed wing. 10
Just
o'clock.
land.
Searching. (2S6) 11 o'clock. Searching.
Yes, entry level motors. Anything better.
Ah, right.
In that price range.
Okay. This is handling completely different, by the way, to what it used to, because normally that would have just dropped out the air. See, the Warthog, when you say any better HOTAS, anything better than Warthog in that price range, the Wing stuff is relatively cheap. Yam uses Wing. Some of them use who's the other one? Lisa's got a Wing joystick, but with a Warthog throttle. The only trouble is, right, that there's no twist grip on some of these. Ideally, you'd need something with a twist grip unless you've got pedals, which is the problem. Where's Damascus? There it is.
Value Unit said, Wing is cheaper but better in quality.
Yeah, I mean, cheaper but better in quality. It depends. I mean, I've seen videos where somebody's going on about the fact that with the Warthog, they just put these weights on to make it feel good. Whereas really, if they were doing that, these weights that they actually bolt on, this metalwork, would be on the inside. They bolt it on there because the last thing you want is a joystick and a throttle moving around on the desk. So as you're moving stuff up and you've got some resistance, which is what you should have, it shouldn't, right, be moving around, and the weight is there to try and stop it from moving around, basically. I'll go in that one. Do you know what I mean? So the actual quality of a lot of joysticks, a lot of things, is it could be better. Some of them will charge you a lot because of how it looks, but the insides are a bit manky. And some of them, I must admit, are really, really well built.
Yeah, I think
And you
they've
pay for it.
designed so buy the mounts as well.
Yeah, I mean, mine's all chair mounted now, my Warthog, and I still use the Warthog, all the old stuff, original. It cost me £273 new, going back a bit. It has gone wrong. It's a bit like Trigger's broom, if you know that reference. Kevin usually comes on. He's probably busy today. He's fixed it for me, and he's fixed Lisa's. But he's usually got bits and bobs and things, and he's one of the viewers. Right, okay, so this is the Warthog, okay? It used to be the most complex aircraft there was at one point. It's still pretty difficult to learn and to sort of get the gist. I haven't flown it really properly for a long time, just because some of these maps don't lend themselves to flying the Warthog. However, now we've got all this up here, it might make it a little bit easier to go and attack various other things, okay? Just 1 minute. The first thing I ever had in DCS was the Shark, because that was the only thing. It was a standalone game then, where you bought a Shark, you had corpses, and that was it. When the A10 came out originally, the A10C, that was a standalone game, and you had corpses, and that was it. So for the first couple of modules, it was just standalone, and eventually they created DCS World. The detail on this was such that they used the A10C to train American pilots how to transition from the A10A to the A10C. So way before it was released as part of a DCS game, it was used to train the pilots how to move from one to the other. So it is pretty damn accurate, really. It's an amazing aircraft, and once you get used to it, it works incredibly well, to be honest. It's an excellent ground pounder. It can stay in the air for an awful long time. It does seem a little bit complicated. It's not something you can just pick up and put down in a quick half hour, especially if you're cold starting it and utilising some of the weapons. But once you do get your head around it, it is one of the best modules in the game, to be honest. Is it a starter plane? No. Best starter plane, I think, would be the F-18. That will give you air-to-air, air-to-ground, and the ability to take off and land on carriers. This has its role, and it's just a damn good plane. If you look at real-life video of it, you realise how good this is, and the fact it can get quite shot up and you can still fly, still work, still bring it back. I mean, there's a particularly good video of, I think, a female pilot who nursed it back. I think it was during Afghan War or something. It is very old. It's been updated, and occasionally they change controls, which completely screws me over every single time. Just one moment. Someone sent a message that I can't see and hasn't said, can you pick up and put down any of these aircraft in an hour? Oh, I see what he's saying. Right.
Solar Hero said, can you pick up and put down any of these aircraft in an hour? You making me feel retarded.
You can get going, but the problem is, you're really looking at, like, say things like the Huey is so easy. That's why it's the best helicopter to learn. But this thing, you do need time, and if you are going to bother to fly it, you need to make time to learn it. You won't learn it in a few days. Chuck's guides, if you do exclamation mark Chucks, are always good. I have taught people before, one-to-one. I used to teach groups. When I first started teaching DCS, it was way before I was streaming as such. It was a group of people who I played other games with who had got the A10C, and we used to do it on a Sunday for 6 hours every Sunday for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks. And somebody who, over the past few years ago, it was 60 hours of one-to-one, spread over 6 months. Spread over 6 months, and he got a really good grasp of it. So it's not something you can do.
You can easily pick up in an hour.
You can pick it up, put it in your pocket, and walk it home. Oh my God! Look, Lise, look what the cat's dragged in. Yeah, it was him. What are you doing here? Were you lurking, matey?
What's it dragged in?
Look.
Oh, hang on.
No.
Where am I looking?
Hello.
Horny.
Yeah.
Hello.
So this was some time ago. He had a penchant for shooting lampposts. You were just going.
Say about the lamppost.
Yeah,
Hey, Horny, how you been?
Yeah, I usually still use the reference just to say how long it takes. Horny's not an idiot either. But you just have to build up to get that muscle memory in and remembering stuff.
Ah, thank you. Good.
And there's ways of remembering, and it's not all about sort of somebody telling you how to start up. It's, the first few times you need parrot fashion.
Yeah, I am an idiot with a flight stick.
me. I was wondering how you was actually the other day.
Yeah, she was asking about you. And I said to her, can we just not get on with it? She's going, but I was thinking of Horner. I said, thanks. Anyway.
All good here.
Yeah, good. Right, so how's the job? You still working at the same place and doing the same thing? Anyway, so I'll go through this, and I usually go through the startup, and I've got to try and remember it myself.
It's still a Sony.
Ah, right, okay. Quite busy, I would imagine, at the moment. The way I would always recommend learning this is don't worry about trying to remember where the switches are, and don't worry about writing them down either. So when you learn, right, just do parrot fashion. So for the first 4, 5, 6 times, right, just, I mean, what I want to do is when I get round to them, when I get out of this job at some point, which might be sooner rather than later, I will put some audio startup routine without the video so you can listen to it and just follow, and eventually you'll start to get the gist of where to look, because when you look in this, there's so many damn switches and things, right, that if somebody said, oh, switch this switch, you spend half your time looking for it. But if you get used to using a pattern, you'll find it easier to remember. So the best way is to just listen, right? And you can record this if you want. And I'll make a mistake. I know I will, but that's fine. And then you go through the pattern. So we start off with the right knee, and we're going to put the battery power on, and we're going to put the inverter on. Okay. Now, before, did I do this already? Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so we've put the battery and the inverter on. We're then going to move over.
And I still know what most of them do.
We're going to move over to the left. Now, if you notice, if you sit in this cockpit, especially if you haven't got any head tracking or anything, you can't even see the bloody switch. So what you need to do is you use right control, right shift, number 4 on the keyboard, on the keypad does this, number 6 does this, okay, multiply and divide does this. So it allows you to move around. Now I use the G13, I've got a little joystick under my thumb to do this, but it's great for when you're teaching people. So if you look down, you can see the APU start there, so we need to switch the APU start on, and you'll hear it starting up. And as we look over across at the dials, these bottom 2 are the APU. So this is the APU percentage, this is the exhaust gas temperature. When this gets to 100, you see this dropping, then you're ready to start the engines. Well, you're ready to start up, okay? Before we start the engines, what we're going to do is look down here, and we're going to switch on the position lights to steady, okay? So we move this little switch forward, and when you look outside, you see there's no lights flashing, right? And it would help if I put the APU generator on. what a fool. So okay, once the APU's up, you put the APU generator on. There we go. Anyway, you won't see any lights flashing until you, if you have a warthog, you should know this anyway, move the pinky switch back, then the lights will flash. I told you, I haven't flown it myself for ages. I'm just pulling this out of somewhere, and basically if you hit left control P, that light will come on, okay, because you probably haven't got a warthog as a general rule. Once you've done that, if we look down here, and we're moving back up now, we're going to switch on the CDU, or Central Data Unit, and the EGI, which is the Embedded GPS and Inertial Navigation System. This is going to start alignment, okay? We're going to look at the MFCD. Now, the problem is with DCS, depending on what plane you're in, the screen is called different things. In the A10C, it's an MFCD, or multifunction colour display. And we're going to switch the right one on. As I said, this will take me ages to get through, but it's always good fun. And we switch the left one on. And then we go down to the 3 switches at the bottom. So we've got CICU, we're going to switch on. JTRS, I bet this is all coming back to you, Horny, on. And the IFC, right, we're going to switch to the middle. And then when we look at the hood...
I never forgot it.
The thing is, it's just, again, that muscle memory, isn't it? It's that repetition. There's lots of different ways people learn. Some people can learn by reading a book, some by watching, some being handheld. But it's the repetition that builds up the muscle memory, okay? So if you notice there, it says engage pre-flight bit yes. And that's when we put this IFC into the middle. So what we're going to run is a built-in test. That's what bit means. And we acknowledge it by pressing the enter key on the up front controller.
A Jax said hello, Jax.
Sometimes I spoonerise that, which is never great, but it happens. Once we've done that, we can start the engines. So to start the engines, we always go to the left engine first. And I believe, but I can't remember this, the actual key is something like right, alt and home, I believe. But I can't remember which it is. If you've got a Warthog, you lift up the throttle, move it forward. You'll see this little engine start cycle come on. And if we look down here, this left column of dials, right, is the left engine. Okay, so it's slowly starting up. And when it's finished, you'll see the engine start cycle go off. While we're waiting for that, we've got a screen on here and we're going to do a load all. What that will do is load data from a cartridge and don't start you. You don't do home and end. So we're going to load information for the TAD, the weapons and other sensors. Yes, so you do load all. And then it takes around about, I don't know, 20, 30 seconds maybe. And you'll see these little circles come back. We will have to address this page again. And the reason I've done it now is to actually induce an issue. Another thing that you're going to notice is you get a master caution. And the reason you get a master caution, which you never used to get, is because nowadays the switches for the generators are automatically switched on, these two. Back in the day you wouldn't get this until the very end, but what they did, they changed the switch configuration as though you've had your ground crew get in your aircraft and prep it prior to flight, so they would switch that on. This throws an error because the APU gen is on. When the left engine starts and the generator kicks in, it's just warning you. We don't need to worry about it. We can hit the master caution light and switch that off, okay? If you've noticed over here, all those little dots have come. So now we can hit the TG, sorry, let's not do it on that screen. We can hit the TAD screen and we can see the TADs, but there's no nav data at this point. We can also see that the left engine started, so now we can do the right engine, which I believe is right control and home. And now we can start to see the right engine going, okay? If we go to the CDU here, we can see just by me talking that this is already aligned. Now when you start this up without all this conversation going on, you will have to wait for alignment to occur, right, before you carry on after the engine start. Okay, alignment takes 4 minutes and 0.8 seconds, right? So that's what the timer is there. When alignment is ready, you must see T equals 4008 and INS nav ready flashing. If you proceed from there, you will not be aligned properly if you move. There is another way of doing it, but I'm not going to be covering that at this point. Okay, so we're waiting for the second engine, which looks like it's done, which is good. we've got alignment, so we're going to hit the nav button.
You can take off without it.
Oh, you
Beat
can?
me to it.
Yeah, see, I did beat you to it, but I'm not covering that now. And then we go down here. HARS is an old navigation system, but we need to switch this one to EGI, as I said, embedded GPS inertial navigation, and we move the TACAN to steer point. Okay, and then this bar goes, and that is all set. If we look in the hood now, it says the test is finished and there's no failures found. I need to move the seat down, and there's a little switch just here. Right, and if you hold this down or up like this, it moves the seat up and down. So I'm just going to look out the front, move it down, and I can move it down just a little bit more. And you can see now, it gives you all the messages. To acknowledge this, we're going to hit the enter key, and then we're going to use the selector key. We're going to move the selector key until we get to exit, and then we're going to hit the enter key again, and now you can see it's at a main menu. We're not going to worry about that now. We're just going to switch that IFSI switch, which is the one I told you about at the beginning, up, and you'll see a hood. Okay, now the way I look at the hood, right, is see this ribbon which is on the bottom. If you've got a head tracking, it's a lot easier. What I'm going to do is set it so it's just, let's get into position properly, it's just more or less at the bottom of the screen, which is where it is now. I can see the rest of these things, I can see this circle. If I want to look there, I can just lean forward. And again, I can't read it necessarily. Okay, right, so we've done that. We're now going to go down here, and on the left hand side we've got the Stability Augmentation System, SAS. So what this does, if we switch these forward, right, what these will do is smooth out your controls. So you have something similar in the Apache, you have something similar in the Shark. I don't know about some of the other aircraft, but you'll have similar things. So it smooths out the controls. Just behind...
Baby Shark.
I remember you doing that before. Just behind here, we've got the EAC and the radar altimeter. And again, as I said, some of the switches have been changed. So my controls are normally set like this. So we're going to put EAC on, radar altimeter on. Okay. If we look over at the warning panel, we should only have 3 alarms now. So that's anti-skid, APU gen, and seat not armed. If we look over here, right, the anti-skid, if you find the diagonal of the screen, start at the top right and go all the way down,
Anti-left side.
it will take you straight down to the
APU
anti-skid.
right side.
Okay, and then if we look over here, this is the ejection seat. We're outside, so I'm quite happy to put that on, and we no longer need the APU generator. Okay, the 2 main generators are on, it's getting power from there, so we can switch that off there.
Eject handle as hard as posable.
Posable. And then we can also switch off the APU start here. Okay, if we look in the hood, we can see there's a red bar over here, which is the standby attitude indicator, and we're going to start turning that and uncage it so that if there's any problems, we've got a point of reference. Right, so mostly this is started up, and you think you're ready to go. Now you're not. There's a few more things we'll do just before takeoff. This is the TAD, right? If you notice, it's got a number 5 there, and it's also got not soy. Now this is where it gets confusing. In the A10, if you've flown the F-16, it uses the same stick, but what they do is they use long presses and short presses for controls. And that means you've got a lot more functionality in your stick and throttle, and you've got more chance of not having to touch anything else. So for instance, if I want to change this screen, I can just literally use coolie hat left short, and it cycles through all these screens. Okay. However, you've got this big white banner and it means not soy. It tells you not soy, and that means not the sensor of interest. The A10C has a number of sensors on it. The TAD is one, the hood is one, the helmet mounted queuing sight is one, the TGP is one, the Maverick is one. And you can have a sensor there, a sensor here, a sensor here, a sensor in my helmet when I switch it on. And you've got to know when you change controls. For instance, if I change a control here, this one, which is a DMS, right? Even though I'm looking down here, right, I'm not doing anything to my TAD. What I am doing is changing this sensor up here. So for me to be able to use that switch on this screen, I need to make sure it's the sensor of interest. And I do that by holding coolie hat left long. And now suddenly not soy has gone and we've got a box around. Right. So now if we look here, when I start using the same switch, right, you can see that sensor is being changed and it's got a lot of information on it. So if we go back to the start point, which was 5 miles, we can see a few things. Okay, this is a friendly aircraft and it's heading in that direction, and I think it's 6,000 feet. I think that's what it's telling me. Okay, the scale is there and the distance covered to the outside circle is 5 miles. If I use my DMS down or DMS aft, right, it now changes to 10 mile and the scale is 1:1. And if you notice, we can see a little bit more. X's are friendlies on the floor. Okay, the outer circle now represents 10 mile away. The inner circle is half of that, which is 5 mile away. These points, here's Dixie. This little triangle here is north. Suppliers. So that's north, east, south, west. So it's pretty really... Alright, Dixie. It's pretty really easy to see, right, what's going on. And if we move out further, we see a lot of green boxes. We also see this thing here, which I'm going to move shortly. Okay, these green boxes are waypoints in the central data unit, the CDU. Okay, so at the moment they're just telling us there's a load of boxes there. Now if I start moving, if I select my hood and change the waypoint, you can see there's a white hat, right? A white, well, no, it's not a white hat, is it? It's a white wedding cake and a yellow box, right? You can see it over here. So the white, who's in Heli? Quite a few. There's quite a few there. I don't know who's in that particular one. This one here means it's called the SPI. So this is called the soy sensor of interest. The SPI is a sensor point of interest. In the A10 it's really important because we put the speed where we want our sensors to look. So when we've got a Maverick, a TGP, we can make those point in the centre of that place there. At the moment, it's currently tied to all the waypoints. Okay, so if I change a waypoint, you'll see, okay, it move around. Now it doesn't just move to our waypoints, it moves to any airbase on the map, which is not great, because if you're flying and you suddenly change your location up here, look, you'll find that it will not necessarily go to where you want it. And that's because if we look down here, right, we've got a couple of knobs, and these are really important. So the first knob filters out what is in the CDU, or chooses what you want to see. So when it's set to mission, it shows you everything, okay, including bases which are nothing to do with your flight plan. So what you need to do is turn it. Now mark points, we'll come to that when we're in game flying. If we turn it again, this says filter only the waypoints that have been selected for the flight plan. And this is why you can understand now why this gets a little bit heavier. And don't worry, I won't go through this again. Well, at least not this week. So if I... Right. So if I go flight plan, I can create, I can just create a flight plan here on the fly by saying, where's my F? Fred, right? So I can create a flight plan here called Fred, and then I can select it and start adding waypoints. However, there's already one selected, this one, and as you can see, there's a lot of waypoints already in here. Okay, so when you've got a flight plan selected and the knob down here turned, it'll say only use the waypoints in the selected flight plan. Init you'll find everywhere is because in each flight plan, that's the point at which you get in the aircraft and align it. So if we go back to FP here, there we go, flight plan menu, we can see that this flight plan is currently selected. Okay, it's also got an auto, which is now good to us, because that means that when you get there, it will automatically switch to the next waypoint. And if you're going for a particular waypoint as a target, then you want it set to manual. So if we go up to here now, back to the TAD, you'll see everything's interconnected. And we can only see the waypoints, right, in the flight plan. Unfortunately, there's so many of them all over this map, but you get the general gist. So I'll get back to where I am, which is my initial position. Okay, right, so that's that done, and that's turned on. The other switch as well, when this is on other, it allows us to switch these switches. Okay, so we can go and look in the system and the navigation, waypoints, offsetting, which we're not using at the moment, flight plan menu, etc. So if you turn this, you get to position. This is our current position. Our steer point is the one that's the yellow box. I said this is a bit heavy, and you can understand now why, if I was going to teach somebody, it takes so many hours. So the yellow box is the steer point. Okay, if we turn it again, we're going to be on waypoint, and you get all the data on there. However, we're going to leave it on steer point. This is more or less the default that you want. So you want that one on 9 o'clock and that one on 12 o'clock. Okay, we can also switch this, which we've already got, look, to mirror what that screen is telling us. so we can see the information on here if we want. There are certain circumstances where you want to do that. The upfront controller, for instance, will mirror some of those controls down there, and you can utilize this and make adjustments, okay, without looking away from where you're going and going down here on the screen. Right, okay, we need some weapons. We haven't even put the radios on. Normally you would put all the radios on once you've started your APU in that, but I haven't put them on at all, so I'll put those on. I might even be able to hear people in game playing as well, possibly. Right, we need some weapons. Now when we call the weapons, you can put an awful lot of weapons on here, and I mean an awful lot. Just because you can doesn't mean to say you should. You can see your weight down here. If we go and select a loadout, remember nowadays you can create a loadout. You can create a loadout and save it, right? In the old days you'd have to do it within the mission editor, and then you've always got access to that loadout. For instance, you can either select something which is close to what you want and then put things on and off, or create one like this, and then cursor wasn't in the right place. I don't really want, right, these rockets on there, so I'm going to remove the payload. Okay. So this is more or less a standard loadout. We've got the TGP, or the targeting pod. We've got 6 Mavericks. These are AGM 64Ds, okay, which is important. We've got electronic countermeasures, and we've got a couple of AIM 9s, are they? Yeah, AIM 9s. And really, these are just balancing this out most of the time. You can use air-to-air. This is not geared up for air-to-air at all. We can move the fuel back up. You can see we're still within plenty of range. But when you're using Mavericks, really, this is not like an F-18. And trying to Maverick SAMs, which is not the role for this, when I say you want more speed, it really depends on the terrain and whether you can use terrain masking, etc., etc. If I say OK,
request refueling.
You've got to get a copy.
Request rearming.
So we got a copy and we got a rearming. So it'll refuel us and it'll rearm us.
Refueling complete.
So refueling's complete, and hey Grizzy. Yeah, just you're more than welcome to jump in, matey, if that's what you want. We're going to start on some of the World War II stuff possibly next weekend. Just getting back to basics of remembering how to fly the things. And then maybe following from that, we'll start up the World War II PvP if you're interested, Grizzy.
Rearming complete.
Yeah, I thought you might be in. Okay, so these are the AGM 65Ds, and there's my aims. There's my targeting pod. Note that the targeting pod, exactly. And it's always worth getting a few people in. So if you're watching and you fancy a bit, don't worry about your skill, don't worry about your standard. And if you want to go and get a trial version of the aircraft to play with us, you're more than welcome. We'll try and help you out as much as we can. It's not all about vulturing, it's about having a laugh and just getting people into doing the World War II stuff. It's very easy to take off, very easy to shoot things, not so easy to land, not so easy not to die, but it is good fun. So these Mavericks, which I'll cover in more detail later, have like a little perspex thing on the end, and in there there's like a gimbaled oh yeah, exactly.
You should practice.
The amount of people who actually learn to fly doing this sort of mission. Do you know what I mean? It's like there was more deaths on the runway trying to take off than there was like being shot down. But we'll see. You can also download the map. I think it's a channel 2 map we'll probably use, but you can possibly get that for a 2-week trial period. Okay, so you've got the missiles and you've got the countermeasures. I still haven't closed my canopy yet, look. I always forget. So we close it down here. Yeah. Okay, so that's closing the canopy. It goes much quieter. There you go. You also notice in there we've got a warning that says note flashing, and we've got an alarm. I'm not sure who's doing it. If you look, we've got a note that says DSMS inventory, right? CMBT. Don't know what that bit means, but basically it's telling me there's something wrong. So I'll acknowledge the error, and if we look at the dismiss, you see the way this does not reflect the armaments that we've got on. So basically we need to reset it, and we reset it. We need to get back to the screen we had originally. I'm going to move the MAV button. You do it by holding it, press load, press MAV. Now we've got a load button, hit the load button, reload the dismiss. That takes 4 seconds. And I did it that way because whenever you rearm reload, you're going to see that message, and people usually think they've got to start again. Okay, we need the MAV button back, which are our Mavericks, and we'll bring those back and drop them there. Okay, go back to TAD. Okay, so another couple of things we need to do before we finish. Go to net. I'm going to change my own ID to, well, that's 01, group ID 33. And what this gives me is the ability to, there we go. So whoever that one is, number 15, is also flying an A10C. All right, so we can actually send each other targets and various other things. I'll change this back down to actually, what am I doing? Change this back down to about 20 mile an hour. 20 mile an hour, what am I on about? About 40 mile, and we can see he's just over 40 mile away. And I'm not sure who that is. Could be Pup though. Okay. There's a bit of a grass cutter there. Right, the other things we need to do then, now we've got countermeasures on, we're going to start up the countermeasures, put it in standby, switch all these little knobs on. Right, I'm not going to put it in auto, and I'm not going to put it in semi-auto. If you put it in auto, it will just dump all your chaff flares whenever. If you put it in semi-auto, it'll dump all your chaff flares whatever when you tell it to, but it just gets rid of too much. Sometimes it gets it wrong as well. We're going to change the fuel needle to show how much fuel we've got internally, which is 11,000. I'm going to put on my helmet mounted queuing sight, which is down here. That was a new addition to the A10C2, and if we look around you'll see, right, I've got something now that I can see in my pilot's view. The only problem is for me to lift this up, that is where, let's have a look, I need to be able to move that. When I look out, is that where the horizon is? See, it's a solid bar, and I'm having to tilt my head up really weird for that. Not sure why. It should actually be level with that when I turn my head. So let's try something. If I set that to there. Now when I turn my head, there we go. So I'll just change where I was looking to centre my view. Okay, so when I turn, it should show me where the horizon is, and this shows me where my currently selected point is. You see there? Right, okay. We're ready to take off now. I know, at last. We need to put on the, well, probably don't need it here, but pitot heat.
Yeah, I did start turning back to try and get some.
We also need to get rid of the chucks. Chocks even? Do you understand why it takes so long? And that's just the start up. Lego brick forward. Yeah, those are some of the names, and this is the wrong thing as well. Those are some of the names that I actually called things. What am I after this? So go ground crew and wheel chocks. Remove.
Remove the wheel chocks.
Okay.
Copy.
Do you Lego? If I'm explaining stuff and it makes it easier for people to remember, which is why he says that, because it looks like a Lego brick. Look, like a little square Lego brick. Right. Let's see what runway we're taking off from. That's.
Jackson said, have you remembered the doodad and thingamajig?
I remember the doodad and the thingamajig, yeah. I actually remembered so far more than I thought I would. So, which runway we're taking off? At Damascus.
Hello, that's the power.
Yeah, I just wondered if we'd got a preference so I could stick to it. Right,
Paul
so
said 23 litres.
23 litres. It's quite a big runway. So let's go. What is the tower? We need to know what the tower setting is for this place. Damascus. So if you select there, you look down here, and ATC is 118,500.
Taxiway, it's closer.
No, stop it. 118,500. So we go down to here.
Bear 969 said, use the grass.
You and your grass. 118,500, yeah.
It's 810. CJS ECL said, is far into clear the map.
So now we should be able to communicate with the ATC at Damascus. Right, we didn't ask for a startup, which technically you should do. Okay, we haven't done that. Request taxi to runway.
Meters per second.
Okay,
Request taxi to runway.
Exactly a 10C2, take off anywhere.
Clear to taxi to runway 23. Path 2.
there we go. 23 right. Okay, so 23 right. I think this is 5 left. 20. Oh shit! There's more down here, isn't it? I didn't spot these. Let's go to the other map. 23 right. That's 23 left.
The furthest way runway.
Here's the others. I can't even see this stuff. If that's 23 left, I'm guessing. Oh, that's 9 left. Oh, main runways. I think everyone else is probably just...
23R is toe trend.
Is it the other end?
Affect my typing.
No, it's not. That's 5. That's 5, right? That is... 23 left, so you'd expect this to be... Oh, come on. This to be 20. I should use the other camera, really. Have I looked at the same one twice? This it? No, that says 23 left.
By the time you take off, your tank is gonna be empty.
I know.
Bear 969 said, wow, that's a big airport.
It is, isn't it? It is Damascus. That's 5 left. Ah, what a pain in the ass. Come on. What's this one say? Yay, 23 right. Okay, and I'm down here. Right, okay. Not the easiest of ways, is it really? Right.
Wally said, furthest away.
Always the way, isn't it? Oh man, I wish I could. I wish that would just line itself up.
Said, I might think the taxiway was a good choice.
3301, taxi in 23 right, Damascus. Okay, so nose wheel steering goes on, otherwise we can't steer. Small amount of throttle,
Yes, sir.
and we'll start moving. And we've got to somehow go down there and then turn right.
I've got this on the ground. I'll line over as well.
Jackson said, order a pizza to 23 litres and it'll be there when you arrive.
Thanks, matey. We're going to 23 right, though. Well, I hope I'm going to 23 right. You never know. This is one of the reasons why at the moment when we're doing a mission like this...
23, when I'm using the taxiway, I don't have the fuel for runway 23 right.
Yeah, when we're doing a mission like this, it makes it really difficult because it does take so long to explain everything. Hey, CJ.
30J is out.
I know, I was in it the other night having a quick...
Doesn't have a refuel per B?
This does, yeah, it's got refuel.
Yes.
It's getting a little bit close to this area, isn't it? Seems very commercial. You ever think we're getting lost? One day. This is a bit of a big airport, isn't it? And you're probably right. I'll run out of fuel before I get there. Fortunately, this thing can loiter for God knows how long. But at least this time we've got some space.
Rizzy Bear 969 said, maybe a gas truck and a hot wheat well at the entrance to the runway.
Yeah, something like that. Right, so let's have a little look, see where we are. Come on, hurry up. Right, okay. Bit of a rigmarole if you ask me. Going a little bit quick.
Let me see where it goes busy.
Finally into Damascus, 05 left.
Wally said, melted me in flight refuel for 40 minutes before realizing he forgot to tell me to do something. It was quite funny.
It's only 40 minutes. It's probably only opening the hatch or making that little radio call. There was something like that, wasn't it? And how many years ago was that, Horny?
It was a radio call.
Yeah, that was it.
4 years.
Was it that long? Right, okay, let's see where we are. I'm there. I can turn
Yet was.
down there and go that way, can't I? That will work, that's taxiway. Just can't see. Has anybody jumped into TeamSpeak at all? I was expecting someone in. Can't see him anyway. I can't remember, but there was someone going to jump in. I just can't see the up and down channel at the moment.
Rizzy Bear 969 said, follow the yellow brick road.
Might have been a bit before you, but okay.
You're talking about the camel.
No, Camel's in. He knows his way around.
Yeah,
He-
popular.
He only comes in so I can teach him how to hover a helicopter. Right. Now, I think we're going down there. Yep. It's a big old base, isn't it?
Ollie said, hovering is easier with a bit of wind to push against.
Yep, indeed it is.
I like the fact our that's taking off. Airfield where it's so brilliant.
Yeah, we captured it, remember? Somebody coming in. This is why you make radio calls. We're going round here to the left. Excuse me. My following the yellow lines is not the best, but it does the job. Should be going down there towards the runway. I'll get there and it will have the wrong number on after all of that, but hey. This will be 5 left or something like that.
Yeah, clear it runway.
You watch, yeah. That sounds like I'm going the wrong way.
Fast for taxi.
Not really, look. It just seems fast because of where I am. I should have just took off like all the others did, shouldn't I really, but hey. Time 11:32.
Yeah.
But I asked because people take off and I'll just
We
choose
will pay you for it.
I'll just choose the same runway as everybody else. But now I've asked for tower, I can't imagine.
Just keep saying I'm out with you ready.
How far away are you?
I don't talk of them.
That's interesting. That's George for you, that is. A 3301 holding short runway. Looks like 5 left. Let's see where we are. After all that, I told you, didn't I? It was the other end. Right, so when you get here, you need to change your lights. Nah, don't matter. At the end of the day. So you go down to your lights again, which is where you see this figure of 5 knobs, like a 5 on a dice. We move that one back. Okay, it's steady. And we move this one forward. And what that does is basically gives us, it makes our navigation lights static. And it makes the anti-collision lights, which are the white ones, flash. Okay.
Grizzly Bear 969 said, "Where is my popcorn?"
Sorry, mate. We're getting there. Okay. Which is the target we're going for now? What waypoint?
6-0.
Cheers. Okay. 3301 taking
Paul
active.
said, "He
5 left.
confiscated mine and my beer."
Okay, so we'll go over here. Slow it down a little bit on the turn.
Said it's not allowed in back seat.
And then what we'll do is we're going to put the brakes on once we're lined up. We're going to run the engines up to 80%. So if we look here, we're going to push both throttles up to here.
Grizzly Bear 969
Look down here.
Jump into a warbird and hound Mel.
Okay. And then we're going to make sure that there's no errors, which there isn't. So now what we're going to do, you see the speed here? Right, we're going to basically go full tilt. When that hits 70, we're going to switch off the nose wheel steering, and then we'll start to rotate about 130. Okay, so engines are on full, let go, and you'll see the speed start up in a minute. Once you get to 70, the rudder works. Okay, so switch the nose wheel steering off. We can use the rudders now to move left and right. So when we get to 130, we'll rotate. We'll start to rotate. It won't actually go up yet. Pulling back. Should go up to about 150 something, 160 round about. Come on, get your ass up. Okay, climbing's to about 5 degrees. Undercarriage goes up. Now I'm not sure which way I'm going.
She wasn't that heavy.
No, she wasn't. Okay, I've put the autopilot on. The autopilot, right, I'm now... It's a bit windy to the left.
Is in the other A10.
Pardon? What is in the other A10? What do you mean?
Paul said,
Oh, I don't know. Okay. Right, so waypoint is 60. Let's make this soy, and when we make it soy, we don't have a big white sign, we literally just see an asterisk. So this is something else soy. When this is soy, it's there, which means now waypoint 60. Oh, for God's sake, it's not waypoint 60 on mine, is it? Let's have a look. I don't know where we are targeting at the moment. Oops.
What waypoint is that?
61.
What's the name of the place? I don't know where I'm going at all. Hang on, look.
Heading off the rack with some flights.
Can you see? They only go up to about 39. So I need to know the name. So I'm going to level out a little bit. I don't just want to blindly go flying anywhere. Just going to back off a little bit on the speed as I level out.
Clear to taxi to runway 23. Path 2.
And I'm going to turn left, and I'm going to put another mode on, which is orbit, and this should more or less stay flying around in a nice circle, probably get in the way of everybody else till I know which base we're going after. Right, so
Grizzly Bear 969 said, "Is this a closed server?"
no, matey, this is mine. It's usual password, but a capital letter at the beginning. We've got a FARP down by 64, but I'm confused as to where we're going at the moment.
Waypoint 60.
Right, okay, Beirut, okay. Let's see if we can find Beirut.
Note, that's what I think. Disregards.
Can I see Beirut? Can I bugger? Dabby, Tango.
Time to learn gents. Everyone get learning pads.
In fact, I can't even see Beirut on here. That's a pain in the ass, isn't it? Right. let's change this down to here. Let's go on to here, right? Let's go Beirut, set that on there, okay? And go back to flight plan menu, select this one, select this one here as my thing. So now the only thing I'll have here is Beirut, okay? And you can see Beirut is 80, 40, round about 60 mile away, okay? Right, so I'm going to fence in now, and what that means is, I can't remember the acronym, but I'm going to switch on my master arm, my laser arm, my TGP is on. Right, gun pack is a system, and I'm going to just take off. You'll see what happens when I switch it on. I'm going to take off my autopilot, switch on gun pack, see my nose drop. And what that is a system that when you fire the GAU gun, right, yeah, it will basically counter the recoil that you get from the gun. I'm going to switch my TGP on my right one, and this needs to time out. This one at the moment, I'm going to my countermeasures. I'm going to switch it to SAM2, and I'm going to switch my countermeasures to main. Right, I'm going to switch my lights off, and I'm going to call 3301 fenced in fuel 10.2. okay, now what I need to do is change this radio to 124 2 4. Let's see if we can hear. 3301 radio check. Am I? Oh God. What's happened? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, 124. I missed the number. I went 12 back. There we go. 124 radio check. Nobody's on it. Or my control is not working. So if I go down to here, should be VoIP. Yep, it is. Okay. But I'm taking nobody's on there. Right, okay, so we've got the TGP is now up, so we can move it to air to ground mode. By default it points out forward, and this tells me it's pointing straight out the front of my aircraft. It's bull sighted, and there it is. Okay, remember it's on one wing, so if my target that I'm after, which is over there, right, you have to be careful, because otherwise you just mask. So I'm now going to say, right, I want my TGP to fly, to point at my SPI. My SPI is there, and you'll see the camera and this set itself up and go and look at where the target is. Okay. Now, how far away am I from target? Is 45 miles, about 8 minutes. Takes 3 minutes to warm the Mavericks up, so I'm going to go dismiss, missile, electro-opticals on. Takes 3 minutes, and then when I click this, it will basically show me what the Maverick's looking at. In the meantime, the target is drifting off behind me. I'm not sure of the terrain of the target, so I'm just going to turn around a little bit, change my master mode over to nav. Okay, we can see where the target is. This helmet mounted cueing sight is brilliant because it gives you a really good what's the word? I forgot the word for it, knackers. Situational awareness, there we go. got there in the end. Now let me just change this a little bit so when I look out I can see that's level. Gives me the horizon. That's over the other side of these mountains. Now bear in mind right, that my bear in mind that my TGP is on my right hand side, and if I go up this mountain area that puts the TGP on the wrong side. So if I'm going to try and do any shooting at anything, there's absolutely no point me going up with things on my left. So what I'll do is head up that way and then turn around and come back down again. If we look at the TGP, can we see anything of that site? No, because the target is the other side of those mountains, I think. Notice that's got a not soy as well. We can go and switch to that, and then we can also change it from CCD mode, which is charge coupled device like a camera, and we can change it to white hot or black hot. Okay, and it just helps us to see targets. While we're doing that, we've got a timer still on the Mavericks of 2 minutes something. Don't want to go too high. So how far have we got to go? 40 miles, okay. Now we can't fire these Mavericks until we're about 7 miles, so I don't know what the terrain's like over there, but we'll have a look. We've got mountains to hide behind, which is good. It's not going to help us with planes though. Let's put that over there. You hear the big click, it's the switches on my throttle. Okay. So with the A10C, you've got 3 positions on your autopilot path, which allows us to climb up and dive down, and it will hold it. You've got altitude heading, which is your standard point in a direction at a certain altitude, and then beneath that you've got altitude, and it's the altitude one that allows you to fly around in circles. So you can get this thing flying around in a nice circle, and that's it. So there's the Maverick view, okay, but the Mavericks aren't selected. So if I go to dismiss now, select this and that one, and then go back, right, these are all ready to lock on and fire. If you notice, the Maverick, right, is also in the middle of the screen because I haven't told it to go to the target area yet. And if I look on here, we can see you've got a mountain range there. I'm over here, so what I'll do is move up this way and then come back down over there, or I can go over the top, fire, and then come back round. That's, you know what I mean, you get the general gist. I don't want to go too far away, so I'll just change that to there. And then once we get a view, which we can't see on the mountains at the moment, I could, in fact I might, just go even higher. Because what that will do is give me a view over the mountains. It might put me in danger of the SAMs from there. However, because I've got mountains there, I can just dive straight down. And with a bit of luck, the SAMs won't get to me. That's the theory. In practice, it's something different. As we go along, you can see that the TGP is black. That's because it's pointing to the target, and the target's off to my left, and therefore this is completely masked. So it can't see anything, okay? I could, if I wanted to, go onto the map. The reason we can see this is we've got a Reaper I could point at things, right, if there's going to be anything left by the time I get there, and find out where they are. Okay, using the norths and the easts, I can set up points or waypoints for those targets, and then I can use them as a flight plan, and then I can get my TGP and the Maverick to lock onto those points and fire when I'm in an appropriate location. Anyone got any questions so far? We've got something over there you can see by this here. And I'm going to go down just a little bit. I'm going to turn around, so if I can get a peep over the mountains. Not the best of turns. I might end up dead sooner rather than later, but that's not a problem. At least I've gone through the startup. As I said, it does take a time, and starting up is one thing, and then usually on the first day we go and fire at least one Maverick. But by the time you get to that, it's so much going on in your head, it's really quite difficult. Now,
is making me go shopping. Won't take too long, so I'm lurking.
yeah, no worries. Put that there. Let's have a look here. Let's zoom in.
Just as it's getting good.
Can you see the targets down there? Look, I can dive in a little bit. We can see the smoke. So, can I zoom in? Yeah, I can. Let's have a little look.
Said,
there we
what
go.
is the airspeed velocity of an unladen swallow?
African or European?
I don't know that. ARG.
Okay, so there's the target. How far away is it? 23 miles. This is going to be interesting. So what I need to do now is I can tell the Maverick, go look at the target. Look, there it goes. And I should have selected a target, but I'm not sure. So as I turn round, see where the Maverick's looking, currently in the rocks. Over there, is it? But I think... How far are we? 20 odd mile? Okay, we're never going to get a shot off there. And by the time I get there, I don't think that target's going to be there. Hey, Sham. Abu Dhabi? Oh, yeah. Have I told you about that before?
Grizzly Bear 969 said, work it's cold as a witch's tit out there.
It's not too bad here. So basically, yeah, I don't know whether I've ever mentioned this, over in Syria. They did a big survey, and they did a survey in Dubai as well. And they found that in Dubai, right, on average, the people in Dubai do not like the Flintstones. But apparently, after some research, they found that the people in Abu Dhabi do. There you go, Shan, especially. So I'm trying to use the terrain here to... there's bits of hills and things, but whether it'll be enough to protect me or not, I don't know. Countermeasures on the A10 are rather easy. There is a countermeasure switch that I can use that left is flares, I think. Right is chaff, and I'll just give it a flick either way and it'll drop both. Right, so it is quite undulating over here, so this might have to be...
Pull up, pull up.
Shut your hole. This might have to be a bit
Altitude,
of a pop-up
altitude.
situation.
Jackson said, AI tells me the airspeed velocity of an unladen European swallow is estimated
Altitude,
to be
altitude.
11
Pull up,
meters per
pull up.
second.
I don't know what that is in English, matey. How many miles an hour is that?
Pull up, pull up.
Well, let's see what that's looking at. Still can't see a lot. I don't want to just pop out over there, because that will put me on the
Altitude,
target
Rizzy
distance.
969 said, enough to poke eye out.
That's the thing, I suppose, at the end of the day. As I said, we have to be...
Jackson said, roughly 24 miles per hour.
There we go. There's a missile, but... I do hope that's not one of their missiles. It should be Stingies.
Altitude, altitude.
But don't be surprised if I suddenly find I'm getting shot. Okay, 10 miles. Still too far away for a target on this. Target area's over there. So I'm looking for somewhere to jump out, but I think that might be really low. And I might not necessarily have a target. Yeah, that's stingy.
Altitude, altitude.
Just jumping over these mountains. Keep my eyes open over there. Oh, that's all that's there. So, but well, I might be alright. All the dangerous stuff, if it's gone. So, as I said, by the time I get here. Right, let's have a look at this. Zoom out. I think my target's already gone. If there's only tanks in there, I could probably switch, to be honest. Let's have a look. So that's where we're aiming, look. But most of the stuff's gone apart from a few tanks. I got the launch lights on because that means that somebody is firing. But because he said rifle, I know who it is. Now I can also pick targets with the hood as well. See the way this is tucked down. We could have come in from the sea, could have come in from here as well. Just going to slow this down a little bit. You got much left, Sting?
Rizzy Bear 969 said, what you thinking about the warbirds? How many pilots you think are going to show?
I can't.
To Fetland, how many German pilots?
Hang on. I missed that completely because someone was talking over channel.
Understood, sorry.
It's alright, no worries.
Worthy underscore X said, I deleted all my German contacts from my phone. I'm hands free now.
Hmm. No more targets. I knew that would happen. Okay.
Altitude. Pull up. Pull up.
I'm coming in to land at Beirut in a minute. Not here though. I was slowing down for a gun run there, but
Pull up. Pull
you
up.
can see what.
Altitude. Altitude.
You can see the trouble is trying to explain this particular airplane. When you're in the middle of a mission, you just get there. Well, it's like everything I do really, very often. I just get there so late. I'm going to slow down.
Once you capture it, it'll be a big blue circle. Close as you can outside that circle.
You won't do because it's not captured. It's over there, isn't it? Look. Okay, I'm coming into land at Beirut. I don't know the numbers of it at the moment. From the seaside. What, you in the Chinook? Yeah, I'm coming in at the moment on the seaside one.
Altitude. Altitude.
Thank you. Alright. Sting it. Bit of a weird landing, but it'll do. Yeah. Okay, don't forget nose wheel steering. Tidy the aircraft up, i.e. put the flaps up, speed brakes, etc. Okay, runway clear. But at least I managed to go through the start-up. Weapons I have to do another time, I think.
9.5
Obviously I don't have any supplies. Once you get used to flying the A10C, it's really quite good fun. It's quite relaxing as well most of the time.
should be able to see me coming out in
especially on some of the practice missions when you know your way around them. Let me just disappear off. Is this another runway? Sure, no one's coming down it.
Hop inside.
The handling's changed a little bit, Stixie.
What's the channel?
Yeah, when you come into land, it doesn't dump itself on the floor as much as it did. So you don't necessarily need. Yeah, I found that I was quite surprised because I expected it to try and dump itself. It just didn't.
I had to pick up my landing foot. That is more like X-wing than
Yeah.
big as Eagle.
Right, we go back to dismiss missiles. Switch that off. Don't go through the switch off procedure. Open the doors. Horn is gone now. I thought it would be. It depends because I have different volumes, so the volume that I hear through my speakers is not as loud as on stream, for instance. Ladder. We should have a ladder out. There we go. Who's that pup? Let's have a look. Go and find him, see how he does. That's Mav, that's Glaive, that's Stixie. Yeah, these are bringing supplies. Let's get rid of this. Control Y. Oh, Alt Y even. No. Control Y, I was right. There we go. So he's looking nice today. So when you've got a FARP in there, it's really quite heavy. The effects and the way DCS looks now is so much better than it used to. If yours doesn't look like this, all you've got to do is try and go to options, go to system, and lower the gamma. The gamma's normally 2.2 by default, and it makes it very washed out, especially when you're flying somewhere in the middle of summer and it's sunny. Just trying to get it to slow down. You got down. Bit bumpy, but that was fine.
Yeah, the last moment I had to first full height and
Oh, I was watching, don't worry. There's Mav coming in. MI-24s. I haven't flown the MI-24 for a long time. So, question was, what was it? Hey, hello, Wolfie. Sorry. Oh, I've just realised what you said, Wolfie. I do apologise. Okay, so Grizzy, what are you thinking about the Warbirds? How many pilots you think? We don't know how many are going to show up, but there'll be all the Warbird planes that are available. All I've done at the moment is place 2 places. It's in the channel map. I need to test to make sure I've got how the dynamic spawning works. What else? That's it really, but it needs testing, and then once this whole mission's done we can switch it. I'm sure it does. I'm sure it does. It's quite good fun actually, Camel. I don't know whether you've done much the Warbird flying, but it is really quite good. There'll also possibly be a B-17 in, but obviously maybe not that big. What's that other plane? Mosquito? Oh, you do have a Spit. I always end up flying BF-109s. There'll be, it won't be heavy stuff. There might be some. Well, there's something already I've put in because the Germans have actually established a base of operation in the UK, and so you got to go and try and get them out, and they've got to try and. So we'll see. I don't know yet. I need to get it tested. The trouble is, I am really short on holiday and time. And I've got stuff to do, and then I'm back at work, and work is a nightmare at the moment. Right, okay. What time is it? 12. I've got 45 minutes. If that. I need to nip to the loo. Let's see if I can get hold of the person we're supposed to be going out with.
It's okay, my flight stick has a layer of dust on it.
I would imagine it does, Grizzy. All I've done is cough today. Right, I need to nip to the loo then, and it's permanent, mate. It's a bit worse at the moment because my throat was sore, but I've always got the cough. It's a forever cough. It's not on my chest or anything. It's just a throat thing. Right, the only thing I can do, especially as we buy this in the time I've got. Where was this? Beirut, was it? Oh, we haven't captured it yet. I better not change slots. I'll wait till we've got everything set up. Oh, we have now. Right, the only thing I can sensibly do in the time I've got is do some Huey stuff, and I'll go through the Huey. I haven't got too long left.
Said, hi, how is it going?
Hey, Irox. All good, thank you. Just got a nip to the loo. I'll be right back. Let's go down and... Oh, he's come over in that. Stingley's gone for a sandwich. Sticks is over there. We got anyone up in the air still? Yeah, Mav's off. I'll leave you watching him while I nip to the loo, and then I'll be back. I'll just cover some Huey stuff because I haven't got time to do much else, to be honest.
Be back in a second.
Right. 45 minutes is about right, I think. Where's the next place they have to? Yeah, look. It's all the way down here. I did. Where's my thingamajig? Oh, is it further back than I thought? It is, isn't it? But it's still not too far. He's just got to shut down. But yeah, I just was going to switch to you then. I noticed you gone. There is a FARP about 10 mile ahead of that. We've got him in the A10C. That's Pup. It's carrying GBU-12s. Laser guided missiles. I'll just jump into the Huey for now, and then I shall have to finish. Where's the base we're at again? Beirut. So we should, hopefully that's Beirut, and we'll have a little look at the Huey. If I think, is the sail still on? There was a part last week I couldn't show you too well. That should work here. I've only got about 40 minutes. I'm just going to go through Huey's startup, ground effect, etc. And if Camel's still on, he come and sit in and see how we can hover. Ah, right, that's fair enough. Sure, he would have loved to sit in and have a go. Right, okay. So this is the Huey. It's just got two blades, a stabiliser, tail rotor. If you've not flown one before, it is one of the best helicopters. One of the big differences between this and anything else is a bit like the World War II planes. You are flying it, right? It's not down to the systems. It's down to you. Okay. If you learn this helicopter, that will help you with any other helicopter. The trimming system is a little bit different. Obviously in real life helicopters it's different to that, which are usually friction fed or magnetic, and will hold your collective in place, whereas in this we haven't got that. So for trimming wise, you move your stick around and your real life stick always goes back to the centre, as you can see. So when I relax it goes back to the centre. In the Huey. So basically the way the trimmer works, if I pop this on and it's not switched on yet, it will in the helicopter lock my stick wherever I trim it. So if I'm flying in with that nose down, it will lock it when I press the button to there, but my real life stick is going to relax back to the centre. So you have to have a compromise on how it works, and the compromise is when you trim your real your sticking game like that, right, you've got no input in your real life helicopter until you relax your grip and centre the stick. I'll show you that when I get in there. So we'll start off and close the doors. Oh, I know what else I need to show you, if I can. The collective, if we look at the blades, controls the pitch of the blade. So if you look at the end, when I move my collective up, you'll see the pitch change, look. And that pitch screwing around gives you lift, which you then convert into forward motion. Okay, that's all your collective does, changes the pitch. You can see the little conrods there moving up and down. Okay.
Thanksgiving sale ended 2 days ago, by the way.
Oh, did it? Oh, right, okay, sorry, that's Thanksgiving. The winter one, the winter sale will start soon, or the Christmas sale, by the way. So if you are thinking of getting something, just hang on a bit. The roll adjusts another part of the blade, look, see? Tilts them completely over one way or the other. And you can see that there on the swash plates. When did you turn up, Kev? You alright, matey? And then you've got the pitch. So this is the pitch, and you can see the other plates moving. Your tail rotor, again, basically, or anti-torque rotor, will change the pitch in the blades, which pushes your tail one way or the other. Okay? Out of about 40 minutes. Right, so we get it started. Very easy to get started, which is why it's so good to learn. And we're not going to bother with a lot of lights and doodads. We're just going to put on this little panel here, AC phase, which is one click on there. 2 clicks on to essential bus. Click down the main generator and shut the cover. Click the battery on and you'll hear a siren. Siren is the low RPM warning. If you look next to the big bright yellow fuel switch, we can switch that down and it'll stop it. The governor here, you want it forward, which is this triangle. Okay, fuel goes forward. Hydraulics and force trim go forward, so they're just above this area here. Chip detector goes forward, and then relax, and that checks for metal fragments in the mechanism in the rotor system. We need to turn, let's move this off, this big bright red.
Been here lurking since you began the stream.
Ah, right.
You sounded like Lee Marvin.
I did
Thought
this
you were
morning.
born under a wandering star.
Yeah, I know. I was out yesterday. Lisa sounds the same, I'm sure. But anyway, so what we need to do now is increase the throttle. If you've got this assigned to an axis, right, it won't move until it's unlocked. Easiest way to unlock it is either move the throttle sleeve just by rolling your mouse center wheel, or you can use page up, page down. So what you want is you want this to go all the way up and all the way down, and it rests just at this line. If it's any more than that and it's like this, you're going to get flames out your engine, you're going to knacker it.
Installing monitor wall mounts.
Oh right, is that where they're all going? On the wall, so that means you don't have to have it right. Yeah, it'll save some space, won't it? Right, okay. So now we're going to start it up. When you start it up, you need to look at this gauge here, which is the gas producer. You hold the starter button, which is home, by the way, or you assign it to whatever you want to. It actually lives at the back of the collective, so you wouldn't see it. So I'm going to hold it down, and you'll see this needle start to turn. And when it gets to around about 12, 13 here or so, you'll see the rotor, we can see the shadow of it there, start to turn. Okay. And then we keep holding it until it hits 40. When it hits 40, which is now, we let go and we wait. So the engine and the rotor are starting to spin up. The RPM is indicated by this gauge here, and this will settle when it gets to 40. If we zoom in a little bit, there's 2 gauges here. The inner one is the rotor, the outer one is the engine. And if we were to give it all the fuel now, there's a chance we could cause the rotor to shear the pin that holds it on to the mast, and it will fly off. Okay, so when you increase the throttle now, you'll see over here, this is the throttle. You want to do it nice and smoothly, which will allow these 2 needles to stay together. Okay, if you do it too fast, the engine will go off. Oh, really? You're right. I wondered what it was called, Camel. You in bed now, matey? You got me on the telly. Yeah, exactly. I realised as soon as you said. And it's not something you want to be doing. So we're just increasing the throttle. all the way up, it'll go into the red, and then it'll just drop back down again and sit happily in the green. Okay, we got 2 warning lights. One's IFF. The IFF system is this radio system here on the pilot's red knee. Oh really? That's ridiculous. Oh, you're going to have a go at that. That'll look really nice on your screen, matey, won't it? In fact, DCS does look good, and Star Citizen looks amazing on screen on those monitors once you've adjusted the gamma a little bit. Right, so we're going to switch the IFF switch, 1 click, and it's gone. And if we look up here, what we're going to do is back...
kbps max.
Oh, you're joking. I think I do a gig in about 10 seconds, but I'm not going to rub it in. So we switch this down, the inverter, and we switch the starter generator to standby. Okay, when we look here, we've got no more alarms on, but we do have a master caution. The master caution will always come on whenever there's one of these alarms on. And what we're going to do is do a reset. Okay, if we're on the lamp test, we go the other way. Okay, so if you see this on, you know there's a problem, you need to address it. As we look forward, we've got a compass, and this says north. This is the electronic one, and this says just before west. So it's just under 270. So we need to adjust this to match it, and we use this little synchronizing knob. So we're going to turn the knob, and we're going to move it so that this goes over this way towards the west. So it'll rotate round. Now as we move with the synchronizing knob, this little circle is going to change from a circle to a cross. And if you can see a circle, you've not set it right. If you can see a cross, right, you've not set it right. Okay? So you adjust it until it's about half a circle or half a cross, or in this instance it seems to be 1 notch towards 2-4. So if I move this back, it should be about there. Now I think my notches are different graduations there. So, oh, hang on a minute. Oh, that's why I'm looking at the wrong notch there. There we go. So that's about there. Okay. And that's about half circle, half cross. You can do it the other way around. So if we set this to in the same place as that, but for east, this will work. However, we'll be going the opposite direction. So you must get that right. So this helicopter's ready to fly. We've got some radios on, and we can switch this radio on. I'm not sure if anyone's on 124, but I'll give them a shout and see. 124 radio check. Let's try again. 124 radio check. It's probably radio 2. 124 radio check. It's radio 9. Don't think anyone's in there. Right, no worries. Let's get rid of this. Okay, this is probably the best place to do a helicopter. Always learn this when you're at a base. That's because you've got lots of horizontal and vertical lines, and what that means is that you can use those as a point of reference. I was going to say, I'm not sure what the smoke is at the moment. Don't think, you know, they have fires on in the houses over here for some reason. If we look at the map, at the thingamajig, what's the word, briefing, right down at the bottom, that will tell you the wind direction. And it says it's 53 to 33, and I'm never sure whether that's the direction it's coming from, or that's the direction it's coming from, but we'll find out. Okay, so to take off, what we need to do is if we just go up in the air, the helicopter will spin. It will go forward and roll. So we need to make sure that we counter that by pushing the rotor to the left about a third of the way across the bottom box. We also, if it goes forward and off to the right, we want to counter that movement by pulling the stick back and down to the left. And that will get us into a little bit more control than just pushing the collective. When you first jump into this helicopter, it's very easy to take off. It's not so easy to land, and it's a little bit harder to control it. So all I'm going to do is slowly increase the collective, which is this one here. That means changing the pitch on the blades that I showed you at the beginning. And then as it gets light, then I'm going to, if it goes right still, I'm going to move it a bit more left with a rudder. And I've just pulled the stick as we lift it off, up or down, sorry, I've pulled it back and down a little bit to the left, okay?
Get those supplies.
I'm not getting any supplies. Let's get it. Now when you first start, it's quite difficult and there's a tendency to overdo the joystick. It's not like a plane. So there's lots of little movements, okay? So what you need to learn to do, or to understand, is try and get this thing to hover in ground effect. Now, if we turn round, it did say, what was it? 53 was one of the settings. So if we turn round, put our nose at 53, if I've got the right one, it means the wind is going to be blowing from that direction. It's not great with all the buildings there and everything. So there's 34 to 53 is round about there. Okay, so that's an approximation. Now what I'm going to do is show you how to hover in ground effect. As I said, it's not great because of all the buildings. So I'm going to slowly bring this back down again, and I'm not going to discuss how I'm doing that at the moment, but we'll talk about that maybe. I'll show you how to set up hovering ground effect. So ideally you need to be pointing into the wind, and then we're going to make some adjustments and see if we can get this thing to hover as good as we can. So ground effect is the effect that happens when you're over a solid surface. So the ground effect kicks in at about 1 times the diameter of the blades. Okay, I don't know how long the blades are on this, but anything, if we lower than any of that there, the air we pull down is going to hit the ground and bounce back up and provide a soft cushion of air that's going to give us additional support. Okay, what we want to do is try and adjust it so that the helicopter is pretty stationary in that support. Thanks darling. And it's called hovering in ground effect. The way we do that is we're going to try and find out, although it's a lot easier in caucuses, we'll find out which way the wind's blowing. Put your nose into it because helicopters weather vane. So what that means is that when the wind's blowing, it has a tendency to turn the helicopter so that the helicopter's nose is into the wind. And that is easier, or the best way of trying this, okay? Excuse me. So when you want to make adjustments on the helicopter, which you may have noticed when I was flying, you don't move the stick by pushing it forward and keep pushing it forward and that. You make adjustments by effectively moving the stick forward a little bit and then back to the middle. Right, this is exaggerated. So if I was drifting backwards and wanted to stop it, I would push this forward, middle, and apply a little bit of forward movement, slow it down until it stopped, and I'd know where it was. The reality is this is me doing the same thing with the amount of movement that I do. It's about that. Okay, so you can barely see the stick move, and yet you'll see the effect on the helicopter. That follows if it's drifting forward and we want to stop it. Drifting forward and we want to stop it, we do it back or sides, etc., until we've got it balanced. And each time we make adjustments and it's virtually stable, we're going to trim it. Now, I said earlier, when you trim in the game, it's a compromise. I'm going to trim the joystick in the helicopter, and now the joystick will stay where it is. My joystick is fully forward and now fully right, now fully back, now fully left, and I've got no input to the helicopter, and you need to be aware of it. When you relax your real life joystick back to the middle, you'll see the joystick in the helicopter jiggle a little bit. There it is, but it stays there. So what that means is that in my real life joystick, this is my new centre. And that's how they compromise it, and it's called centre joystick method, I think. And that's how you want it. If I reset the trim, you'll see the joystick jump back in the helicopter. Okay, so you take off like before. You get this as steady as you can, and then you press the trimmer and then relax your grip on the joystick. Now we've got buildings, obstacles and all sorts there. It's not ideal, but we'll see how it goes. And then you find out what your helicopter's doing, and if it's drifting to the right, we do it to the left, trim it again, and then we keep trimming until we can get it stable. Usually it's hard to tell when you're over grass or dust, so keep an eye on these lines, because that gives you a clue as to which way it's going. So I'm going to lift this up. Okay, I'm going to pull back the stick in a minute, and I'm going to try and get it as balanced as I can. I'm going to trim it now, let go of my stick. Where's the helicopter going? Forward. So let's make some adjustments and move it back. And slightly right. See, it's slowing down and stopping. I'm going to trim it again, let go. Okay, it's drifting back a little bit. So I'm going to nudge gently. Look, there's my stick moving forward, middle, trim it again. A little bit too much, do it to the back. I'll watch out all the obstacles. Also again, a little bit high, trim it again. Thanks, darling. It's going back too much, so I'm making adjustments now. Need to give it a little bit more left. Like that. But you see the movements are tiny. It's all about little nudges. So it's moving alright at the moment. It's not too bad. When it settles, it seems to drift off a bit. So I'm just going to make it a little bit better. Now, once you get a point that it's not bad at all, you see there's a bit of movement, right? If I want to stop it from moving at all, I can hold my stick and I barely need to put any pressure in, and I'll get it hovering virtually as good as I want. Because my point of reference for my real life joystick is where it's showing you in the little red box at the top. So I've got control of this now, okay? If I let go of the stick, it might move a little bit. I can make it a little bit better if I want, because I'm not far out, to be honest. And then once you get to this stage, right, the helicopter just floats on a cushion of air. Now, if I want to move it down here, let's have a look. We'll see if this is going to work. I'm going to move it down here, and it'll just drift. Okay? It's pushing right as well by the feel of it. I can turn it round, and it should still stay in the air. And it's just drifting around. Now, unless I'm going to get too close to those planes. When it gets this way around, if I was going the right direction for the wind, it will. This is not me touching my stick. It should, he says, slow itself down. But instead it crashes into one of those sudden lampposts that I didn't see coming. and then you blow up into flames. Okay, that will happen anyway, but it's no big deal because it's so quick to start this helicopter up, to be fair. It's really not the best place with all the obstacles in the way. If you go to the Caucasus map, look at somewhere like Krasnodar Central. So we'll jump back into here, Without all the chat, you'll see it starts up really easy. And it doesn't take that long, which is why it's so good to actually learn to fly helicopters with. It just takes a couple of ticks to get going. And it really is that easy. So you can get back to it and try again. And I guarantee you will find that you crash a lot. Let's put this on so you can see the axis. Okay, ready to start again. When you're over any buildings, ships, mountains, anything, you'll get ground effect. Anything that the air can bounce on, it will. And it will have an effect on the helicopter. If you're taking off on a helicopter on a ship, you've got to be aware that ground effect is there, and then it will suddenly disappear as you go over the edge of the ship. So this is exactly the same process as before, without all the explanation. So we'll get this started up. Most of these will go, which they've just done. You can switch that on. And then once this is up, we just go and do the switches at the top. And you're back up and running literally in a couple of minutes or less. As long as you don't try and rush it, it should be fine. Need to reset that there. Make an adjustment on the compass. We're in the same slot, therefore we know we've got to go this way. Okay, that's about right. And then we're back flying again, and it's as easy as that. So let's have a look. Let's move her around a little bit. We don't want to be there by the dead body or put people off. Oh look, a fence has just been planted. That's quite good.
Get those supplies.
I think that fence was probably grown by seed, and it's just appeared. Okay, now, if I was wrong with the 53 degrees, which, let's have a look, where is that? North 30. Then it means the wind is coming from the other direction. I'm floating over the runway here, which is not great, but I don't think they'll notice. So it might be this way. It's always easier with a little bit of smoke, to be honest. But I've let go now, so you'll see what the helicopter's doing. It's going to go shooting back now. Let's make some small adjustments. I'm over the runway, which is not the best place. I think I might have been pointing the wrong direction before. Feels like it might be more this way, but bear in mind we've got all those things behind us. It's far better to choose the Caucasus without all the hills and things. And then once you've started to get the gist of having it hover, then you want to try and learn how to control it, and that is find yourself some solid obstacles and then fly amongst them. Yeah, it's pushing me back quite a lot from this way by the feel of it. So once you've got the general gist of trying to get it into a hover, right, you'll find that you've got really good control over it, he says. So you want to try and leave it in that hover, just nudging the stick gently to get it the way you want. And as I said before, you can see the movements on the stick and the helicopter reacts. If I want it to go left, right, it'll go left in a second. And if you watch the movement on the stick, it's negligible. I want it to go forward. Let's counter that turn there. Want it to go forward, you just gently nudge it forward and it will go forward. Okay. It's probably better hover than it was. There we go. And if you want it to stop going forward, you just gently nudge it back, but it's all small movements. And then, if you keep your eyes open, you see the way that lamppost there, you can't see the top of it at all, can you? The one here on my right, which is just coming up. You want to be able to fly around buildings and solid objects and not panic. You get to learn where your rotors are, what spaces you can fly in, and if you're moving at this speed, right, there's no need to panic at all. We can see we've got lights on our right hand side and on our left. We've got an area down here, and you just gently, right, go through various things. At Krasnodar you've got hangars where all the planes spawn in, and using that is very good practice for learning how to handle the helicopter without crashing. It gives you time to think, and all I'm doing, you can see the movements in the stick, is just nudging the stick in the directions I want it to go. So if I want to go down here, down this little road, I can go a little bit lower. Should be plenty wide enough. Bless you. I said bless you. So I should be able to go here, knowing that my blades won't hit either of the trees. You alright? What was you trying to do? Did you have a problem? Just popping over here. What happened then, yeah? I missed it. Ah, right, fair enough, yeah. Yeah, it's a bugger, mate. Now, I've just noticed this cable's coming down from this crane. All good, thanks. Let's go and find something better to go around in. There are these buildings, for instance, these trees. It's just a case of practicing. You don't want to go too fast. I'm slowing this down now because I can feel it increasing. When it starts to speed up and go quicker, it will also lift. You just want to just gently find something that you can fly between. There's not a lot here at the moment, to be fair. Maybe we should go into town a bit more. But once you can start to practice, and you are going to lose your blades, you're going to lose half the helicopter, you are going to hit things, but just practice, don't be afraid of it, just do it. It's that fast to start up again that you can just jump straight back in. And if you learn to manoeuvre it like this, when you've got gunners on, if we were coming through a town, which very often we've done missions where we've got man pads on the roof, and you can find a street and you can fly low level with your gunners pointing either side, taking out the man pads, do you know what I mean? And you just have to be careful, and it's just practice, practice, practice. And just for reference, right, if your flying isn't like this, I started flying these like, I think it was 11 years ago, maybe 12. There's video footage I found online of me, Sham and Stinger flying this when it come out. It's just practice, you need to put the hours in. When you come down to land on something as well, there's ground effect on all of these. So you'll have the air blowing up and it will be lifting you up and basically holding you up. when you then suddenly find a gap in the building, like I just flew over, the helicopter will suddenly feel different. But that's about it. I can't do much more. 12:52. I'm going to have to go. What else before I go? Landing, right, is harder than taking off. And if you're not careful, you do something called a VRS. And that's where, if you are not moving and you descend too quickly, you'll find that the air, instead of giving you lift, will become turbulent and you'll start to drop. And when you drop, if you give it more collective, which is the logical thing, it'll make you drop more. And when you do get into a VRS, you can probably recover it in 10 to 15 foot, or say 5 meters for metric people. So when you come into land, you want to keep moving as much as you can. Think about coming in and going into a hover, right? And there's a little dial there which is currently on 0, and when you come into land, you don't want that needle to be more than that 0.5, which is just coming up now. But as I'm moving, I'm constantly moving out of any turbulent air if it's covered. But you can see I'm back down into a hover now. And for me to just drop it on this road here, for instance, at the crossing, is rather easy to do. But it takes practice. And again, you can see the movement on the stick. And the amount of effort I'm putting in is just little movements all the time. Lots of adjustments. Okay? If you try and come down like they do in the movies, where they come straight down onto the floor, you will definitely just drop out. There are ways and different techniques of coming down, but the easiest one is just go down into a hover like I did, and then you're only close to the floor and you can just stop. Right guys, thanks for watching today. I am going to have to jump off and then try and sort out what I'm doing and go and have another shower and so on and so on. Are you lot going to finish the mission off today or during the week? See you, Kevin. Why not? I know there's Stu and Thingamajig does, and they'll probably finish it off. All I was going to say is next week I'll dig up some World War II stuff as a sort of practice session, and then we'll do the PvP probably starting in a week or two. And if you've never flown them before, you can use the trial ones as well, but it only lasts 2 weeks. And if you're not competitive in it, don't worry about it, because most people will be crashing and burning and killing themselves more often than not. Yeah. And this is open to anybody, by the way, if you want to join in. No, it'll be good, matey. It'll make you throw up and you will be less accurate. I bet you can't. Alright then, everybody, thank you very much for watching today. What I'm going to do is pass you all over to somebody else. Hopefully there's a few more streaming than when I first come on. I think there was 14 I noticed. And hopefully there's a few more this time. Oh, 60. Still pretty poor, but hey ho. Let's go and find somebody to pass you over to. Oh, someone's in the C-130. That's a surprise. Yeah, I'll put you in with this guy. See you, Kev. Alright, let me raid this guy and then I'll be jumping off. Hopefully there were some things on there people learned.
Okay. Yeah, we're almost back.
Right. Just waiting and then we'll pass you over, and this guy's jumped into the C-130. Tomorrow I'll be streaming Star Citizen and I'll see you next week. Cheers all, bye.
that weird arrow.
Hi Mel,
on the
thanks for
radar
the raid.
on left.
Welcome. Shit, okay. Sorry,
Right,
I'm just
so
following the tutorials here, getting to grips with the
all those on